Well, hey, welcome back everyone to the HO Scale Willow Creek Industrial Spur Layout Overview, or Layout Recap. Now this will be a good video for the new subscribers and possibly the old subscribers to see how the layout actually operates and the setup of the layout. So we'll start here at the entrance to the room. Now this is the Ames sand and gravel supplier. So if you've been following me for a while, you've seen the progress on that and how that's all been all constructed in bits and pieces. I've recently just put the little porticom down there, the little cream looking porticom. So that's on the extension over the doorway there. That is just a clip-on module over the door, as you can see. Power's just routed by the fish plates there. I haven't got it all hooked up at the moment, so there's quite a bit of switching in there. The middle track you see there, or the second track from the door there, that is the interchange track, or the mainline track there. So all the cars coming on and off will go sit on that track there. So there's still a lot of work to do in this little area here. Obviously there's a lot of weathering, there's a lot of more scenery to do, bits and pieces, but I'll come back along and redo that. I did do a little operations video on this particular area in the last couple of days. It was a bit rushed, so I've got a couple of ideas from another good YouTuber, so I'll try and implement them for the next operations thing. But it's just as you can probably tell, the camera work and getting the camera set up, it's a little bit difficult in a small sort of area, but we'll manage. But anyway, as we move along into the Scott Street yard, named after my brother Scott, we've got over the back there, we've got Lorna Foods, which will take reefers and box cars, just food products in that sort of area over the back there. So I'm quite pleased with that sort of that area there. It's got a wall over there with a bit of graffiti and things like that. So it's not too interesting, that sort of area, but it does get a few box cars. We've got a little parking lot area in here, just to break up the area a little bit there. We've got some wagons from yesterday's operation session from the Ames aggregate supplier there. We've got a couple of die-cast vehicles here, a couple of plastic ones as well. The high rail excavator there, and that sort of stuff. It's like a little way and work sort of area along here. Over the back there we've got a abandoned warehouse. Well, half abandoned. It's a steel supplier. So or steel fabrication place. There's an old dumpster there that hadn't been picked up. Back in the day when they were receiving steel, they used to get the siding used to go into there and just unload all the steel off that. And then when it started getting into coils, they fabricated this new building here. So that's my sort of story on that sort of area in there. So as you can see there, that's the new area with the gantry crane inside there, and unload all the steel coils and bits and pieces for the new area there. So as you can see, Scott Street yard and the associated bit, it's quite compact, but it's good switching, which was what I was after anyway when I sort of designed the layout. So we'll go around the corner here. We've got the little mobile crane and some tanks and some bits and pieces, like there's puddles in there. That's, like I said, I've got to come back along and redo some scenery and bits and pieces. It's all a big process, a work in progress. So we'll come into the main section of the railway, as I like to call it. We've got a chemical supplier there. I sort of designed this so it's like a view block, so you have to sort of look around and see what's happening in there. So that receives obviously tank cars and some bits and pieces in there. Various tank cars of different commodities, chemical wise. Sorry about the shaky camera. And then we'll move into reliable lumber. Now I'm quite almost finished with this. I've got the pallet racks and all that sort of stuff on the inside there, a couple of forklifts there. I've scratch built the lumber racks on the outside. You've got the 3D printed pallets, you've got the transformer over the back there. You've got a little truck hiding in there, so it doesn't usually take 2 box cars, but I just shoved that one in there just in the meantime. It has got an operating gate. It's got a little bit of dirt on top of that roof there that I'll have to remove. A little office, you know, little, what else has it got there? It's got little pallet jack things and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'll come back along and tidy it up, jazz it up a little bit. So we have got this is an actual abandoned warehouse. So we've got the old track in the ground at the front there. I've added the fire escapes at the side there. I've still got to add the front there. I've got to add the graffiti on the front doors and things like that. I've patched it up, so you know when you see graffiti, sometimes it's patched over in bits and pieces. So I'll get to that at some stage. That was my first building I made for the layout actually. So this sort of area is in a shadow box. So if it looks a little bit blue, it's the the camera and the lights, and it's got LED lights up underneath there. Now we'll move over to MPA Concrete. That bit we've got a bit there. All this stuff can come off the layout, so it's not fixed down by any means. But we've got a loader in there. We've got the ag truck in there. We've got the unloading area for the sand and aggregate, the cement silo there. I did put a etched metal cage ladder up the side of that, so it made that look a little bit better. So yeah, it's got a little washout area in there. The trucks, the die-cast bits and pieces I use on the layout are all die-cast miniatures, all die-cast masters. Sorry, very highly detailed. So that wheeled loader there actually works over at the gravel supply when I want to take photos and stuff as well. So that's that. So yeah, you got a bit of operating interest in there. Next we've got, now this little building here I'm not completely happy with. It was a plastics place, it was a paper place, but it's I'm just not happy with the way it is. So I've got an idea on that. I want to make maybe another abandoned building and use this siding at the front here as a sort of like an off spot, because I find that when I'm unloading ag or sand here, I don't really have that much room for the tank cars and stuff for a paper place. So keep an eye out for that. I'll sort of have a look at that, but I'm 90% sure that that's going to be changed, and I'm going to adapt that and do something a little bit different. So that's the end of Main Street yard there. So we'll come into over another doorway here. This is the door to a wardrobe. So we've got Lorna Foods, named after my late nana. So that's a big, massive building there. That's the Red Wing milling building. We've got a transload facility down here, the concrete hard standing there. We've got a little container trailer there, sorry. So that, you get your box cars and your reefers in there. Sometimes you get tank cars and bits and pieces, even though it doesn't look like it's set up for tank cars. But I'm pretty pleased with that. I did put a new back scene on, so that's going to be painted and stuff. But it just goes to show what can be achieved in a sort of small area. Like you're looking at that, that's just over a doorway there, so you've got your light and everything can be clipped on and off. But that's basically an overview of what I've got going on. The layout's not incredibly massive. I didn't want it to be a huge, massive layout because it's just this gets too much otherwise. So we'll just pan around a bit back again. A little workbench there. This Scott Street yard was originally just going to be staging, but then I got a little bit carried away, as you can sort of see. Keep going. and it just goes across the doorway there. But I'm pretty pleased with it. It works really well. It's all DC powered. It's just got feeders, one set of feeders, you know, and it's not overly complicated. But you could kick around in the Scott Street yard for hours switching cars and bits and pieces around in here. So, but that's just a little layout overview to show what sort of can be achieved in a small amount of space. The width of the layout be between 300 and 400 mil, so it's not exactly wide, but hey, it suits me fine. But I'll put this up, and if you've got any questions, let me know. Oh, by the way, we've got that in the middle of the thing. That's just those ring lights, so that's the only sort of lighting. Same with over at Lorna Foods over there. So, but thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully this hasn't dragged on too long, and the camera work hasn't made you too, dizzy. But I'll pack all this stuff away, which won't take me very long, and go chuck this up. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks everybody for their support and their kind comments and things like that. It means a lot. Thanks.